What is going on? That was a hiccup. What is going on, my guys? Welcome back to another exciting Doki Doki Blue Skies episode. Woo! We're finally making some headway here in regards to Yuri's social anxiety, and I'm glad, because she deserves to not be alone. So, we're going to kick back up right where we left off. You know that feeling where you wake up and actually feel refreshed from having a solid night's sleep? Yeah, me neither. Too real, man. Too real. As I check my phone's display, I'm once again reminded that Valentine's Day is slowly but surely creeping towards me. I rarely sink back into my pillow. Am I expected to prepare some sort of gesture? Like take her out to a meal or something? Oh man. It's tempting to close my eyes and go back to sleep. But we all know how that could end. Ignoring the cries of my body, I reluctantly swing my legs out of bed. At once, I'm mercilessly attacked by the temperature difference outside of my covers. Drowsily making my way to the bathroom, I prepare to summon the energy to make it through the day. Well, that's one perk of winter air. It definitely wakes you up. Feeling a little more alive, I start the familiar journey towards school. Hang on. Maybe I could wait for Sayori? I mean, it's not like I'd be taking any time away from Yuri if I walked with Sayori, so there's no harm in it. Well, guess there's nothing to do except wait. Shivering slightly, I rub my arms with my hands. How was it warm enough to eat lunch outside yesterday? The weather around here makes no sense. Still no sign of Sayori. With a sigh, I pull out my phone and send her a text. Hey Sayori, I know it's kind of random, but do you want to walk to school together today? No reply. Weird. She's probably sleeping or has her phone switched off. Either way, I don't have the time to check up on her. If I hang around any longer, I run the risk of being late myself. Making a mental note to talk to Sayori the next time I see her in person, I slip my phone back into my pocket and start walking to school. That's not good, man. Ah, Flam. How nice of you to turn up. We were all waiting. Worriedly, I glance at the clock. Huh? But sir, I'm not late. He chuckles to himself. Indeed you aren't. Sorry, I just felt like playing a little joke. That's evil, sir. I didn't even know teachers had a sense of humor. He feigns a wounded expression as the rest of the class laughs. My, they warned me that being a teacher would be tough. I have to know what a sense of humor is a prerequisite to becoming a teacher. Oh, I'll have you know that a sense of humor is prerequisite to becoming a teacher. And why is that, sir? Well, teaching a bunch of silly teenagers for hours on end, you have to find a way to power through the day, and what's better way than with a joke? Are you really that much of a chore to deal with? No, that would be telling. Anyway, today's lesson... His face drops a little. Unfortunately, the 1930s, especially in Germany, aren't exactly humorous, so apologies in advance. Thankfully, the lesson passed by relatively quickly. I guess as relatively quickly as any relative would. It's crazy to think about what the world used to be like. A world of totalitarian regime founded on fear and maintained through blind obedience. To think that the status quo was so widely accepted. And what evil lurks in the hearts of ordinary people. With a start, I realized that Sakurai is standing in front of me, looking rather expectant. Oh, sorry, sir. I was a bit, lost in thought. Thinking about the lesson, huh? There's a dry sarcasm in his voice. Yeah, actually. Really? Now, that's something I hear. That's not something I hear every day. Anyway, I was meaning to ask you about what you want to do after you finish school. It might seem a little early now, but believe me, graduation will sneak up on you before you can say history is the best subject. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I actually have given it some thought. Oh? Yeah, I decided I want to go to university. Ah, a very respectable choice. I trust you'll opt for a history degree. Ah, maybe. Something analytical for sure. I'm pondering my options at the moment. Japanese or history, yeah. Anything to do with literary analysis. He nods approvingly. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining, but what spurred this on? I always thought you enjoyed history, but I never thought you wanted to take it up at university. Well, I guess I've just abandoned my horizon. I've broadened my horizons a bit, you know? There's a mischievous twinkle in his eyes. And what's ignited this sudden passion, I wonder? There's a student I teach who also has quite the flair for literature. She's rather quiet, but whenever she answers a question and hands her homework in, it's clear that she's very intelligent. I don't suppose such a description rings a bell with you, does it? His smirk is one half innocent and one half knowing. Talking about Yuri, aren't you? We're, dating. Aha! That explains a lot. I could see that she's rubbed off on you. And that's the second person to remind me of this. Looks like it really is true. Anyway, it's good to see that you've got a plan. A lot of students have no clue, even in their third year. You'll have to work hard, though. The exams that you have to take in order to progress to university are pretty intense. Don't worry, though. You've plenty of time to prepare, and I'm sure that with Yuri by your side, you'll be just fine. Ah, well, that's reassuring to hear. It's only recently that I really began giving serious thought to my future, so it helps to have as much information as I can. Indeed, preparation is the key to success after all. Does Yuri share similar post-school plans? Uh-huh. He smiles. I figured. Well, that's all I wanted to ask you. You clearly know what you want to do, so there's not much else for us to talk about. If you need any help or guidance on the university admissions process, don't hesitate to ask me. Noted, sir. Thank you. You're welcome, Flam. Now, I believe it's lunchtime, so if you'll excuse me. With a nod, he leaves the room. I wander after him, making a beeline for Yuri's homeroom. Once again, I happen to catch her just as she's leaving. She sees me approaching and offers a friendly wave. Good timing once again, Flam. I really have a knack for this, don't I? It would appear so. Shall we head for the club room? It's a little too cold for the rooftop today. Yeah, that's fine with me. Man, the walk to school this morning was absolutely freezing. February is quite a temperamental month, it seems. Ah, looks like we're the first ones in again. Looks like Sakurai likes to leave early for lunch, I guess. Quite a few teachers do that. Oh yeah, speaking of Sakurai, he actually asked me what my post-school plans were. So did my homeroom teacher, funnily enough. I suppose all the teachers are asking their students that question. Well, the second years and presumably the third years as well. He didn't expect me to want to go to university and do something like Japanese. He actually suspected you had something to do with that. Me? Yeah, he said it was your influence. Mom said the same thing. Kind of weird because I didn't know that was a thing. We pull out our food and the smell of Yuri's delicacies waft through the air. If only Sayori were here. That spending time with your partner would result in their personality rubbing off on you? Yeah. Really? I thought that would be rather obvious. She got me again, guys. After all, it's their personality and mannerisms that drew you to them in the first place. Don't forget their beautiful purple eyes. I reach over and plant a kiss on her cheek. Well, no one's around, so I might as well make the most of it, right?
Oh, Flam. You do know how to make a girl feel flustered.
I grin. Sorry, you were saying?
Anyway, you'd be surprised at what your body subconsciously picks up. Humans are rather social creatures after all.
I don't think it's just a case of me copying you, though.
Oh?
I think it's more a case of you opening my eyes to something I didn't realize I even liked. As in, I think I've always had the capacity to enjoy horror, or I've always had the tenacity to appreciate literature. After all, I've played games and watched anime with fantastic plot lines. Now that I'm dating someone who nurtures, is that the right word? Anyway, who helps me explore those interests, I'm beginning to see how much I truly like them. If that makes sense. She nods thoughtfully.
Yes, I can definitely see what you're saying. Given that a lot of our free time together consists of reading or discussing literary themes, this is part of the reason why I love you so much, Flam. You actually get me, and it seems like the feeling is mutual.
She stares off dreamily.
Sorry, that wasn't too sudden, was it? I just, well, you see...
I reach out for her hands, gently intertwining them with mine. Yuri scoots in closer so our faces are mere inches apart. I can get lost in those eyes forever. And this is why I love you. You have no idea how endearing you really are. Well, that's not the only reason. I could list off a lot of others, but... Sheesh, if this carries on any longer, I think I might... This is Natsuki talking. This is a Natsuki statement. I'm gonna do her voice.
Sheesh, if this carries on any longer, I think I might be sick.
Yep. The sudden irritated voice causes us to jump apart. An intense blush is spreading across Yuri's face, and I hastily rub the back... I was about to say the black of my neck. The back of my neck out of embarrassment.
Natsuki.
Didn't see you there, huh? Natsuki rolls her eyes.
Well, duh, your faces are so close. A volcano could have erupted and you wouldn't have any idea. Sorry.
When did you get here? I swear I didn't even hear the door open.
That's because it was already open, dummy.
That explains a lot. The sound of footsteps rapidly approaching the club room permeates the room as Monica hurriedly makes her inside.
Hey guys. What's the rush? It's not like you're late or anything. Well, I don't have much time, unfortunately. There's some tennis duties I've got to dash off to soon. Of course, the team decided to hold this meeting in the middle of lunch.
She mutters something under her breath and pulls out her food.
That's weird. What is? Has anyone seen Sayori? Nope.
I waited for her, but... I waited for her before I started my walk to school this morning, but she never turned up. Tried texting her, but I didn't get a reply either.
Perhaps she's sick?
Could be. I can't help but feel slightly worried.
It's definitely possible, especially at this time of year.
I'll send her a text on the way home.
Yeah, you live pretty close to her, right? It might be worth checking up on her, too.
I glance towards Yuri. She gives me a nod. Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Is it just me, or is it kind of crazy that it's almost mid-February already? No, I'm with you. The year really feels like it's passing by in the blink of an eye.
I imagine you feel that the most, eh, Monica?
You've no idea. It's so easy to lose track of time.
Don't you ever take a break?
Well, it's not quite that simple.
There's a surprising amount of bitterness lurking within her words. I'm tempted to press her, but she suddenly jumps to her feet after looking at her watch.
And that's all the time I've got.
She slowly packs her belongings away. Leaving so soon?
Tennis stuff, remember?
Monica nods slowly.
Believe me, I'd miss it if I could. See you guys later.
With Monica's swift departure, the atmosphere suddenly feels a little awkward, as it's just me, Yuri, and Natsuki. I guess it's kind of a given. Thankfully, the bell rings not so long after prompting all of us to make our way back to our homerooms. Another school day done and dusted. With a yawn, it's almost like the game's predicting my own actions, just like as a pretense. With a yawn, I make my way to the school entrance, only to hear someone calling my name.
Hi, Flam.
Even the word yawn makes me yawn. I record these at night, so it's it's very easy for me to yawn while I'm doing these.
Would you mind if I were to spend the evening with you?
Is that even a question? Come on. One of the best things about life right now is how enjoyable, if simple, my routine tends to be. At the moment, Yuri is cuddled up next to me as we're watching a horror movie. I can hear the wind howling outside, which serves as a contrast against the cozy atmosphere in the room. Yuri's warmth really lends to a homely sense of comfort. With our homework done, it's simply the best feeling in the world to kick back and relax after a long day of school. I stretch out for my phone, causing Yuri to make a noise of discomfort. She was lying against my shoulders. Sorry. It's my mom, so I kind of have to move to answer it. She noticeably stiffens up.
Oh, would you like me to give you two some privacy?
I wave her concerns away as I glance back at my phone. The display tells me that's a video call, so I angle the phone so that mom can only see me. I don't want to suddenly put Yuri in the limelight. Hey, Mom. Didn't expect you to call me so soon.
Evening, Flam. You're looking well. I'm surprised. It looks like you haven't just been living off of chocolate and ramen.
I roll my eyes at her light-hearted jab. I don't think Yuri would let me. Yuri softly giggles to herself.
Oh. Do you have company, Flam?
I glance over at Yuri. Suddenly, she's looking rather nervous. Tilting the phone away from myself, I try to subtly signal with my eyes that this is a video call. Yeah. Yuri's here.
As I suspected. That laugh didn't sound like Sayori's.
There's an awkward silence for a moment. It's clear that Mom wants to talk to Yuri, but I'm still hesitant to introduce them. Yuri closes her eyes for a moment and takes a deep breath. She gives me a small nod. At her command, I turn the phone over so that we're both in the shot. A warm smile comes to my mom's face.
Hello, Yuri. It's lovely to finally meet you. Well, if you can call this a meeting, uh-huh. It's nice to meet you, too. My goodness. You certainly weren't joking when you said she was beautiful, Flam.
Mom. Yuri is blushing furiously. The poor girl doesn't know how to respond. Mom, on the other hand, is sporting a joyous grin.
You'll have to forgive me, Yuri. Meeting my son's first girlfriend, as a mother, it's quite a special moment for me. Anyway, Flam has told me an awful lot about you. Apparently you have quite the knack for literature.
I have to give Mom credit. Playing to Yuri's interests is definitely the best way to give her the warm-up to you.
Yes, ever since I was a little girl, I've always been into books.
Horror is her specialty, too.
Oh, you'll have to be careful around Flam then. He's actually quite a chicken at heart.
Yeah, that's only because it's a trait I inherited from you. Mom sighs theatrically.
You love playing that genetics card, don't you? Honestly, Yuri, I don't know how you put up with him.
Yuri smiles timidly. I can tell that she finds the relationship I have with Mom endearing, but she doesn't really know how to contribute to the humor.
And you're quite the chef, too, from what I've heard. Yes. Along with reading, food is also another passion of mine. But there's something really rewarding about experimenting in the kitchen.
We've actually cooked quite a lot of stuff together. Hard to believe, right?
Indeed it is. I bet your parents have...
She doesn't know, but still... Oh, that's hard. That's gonna be hard to take in.
I bet your parents appreciate having such a good chef, right? I know I'd definitely love it if Flam ever cooked me something.
At the mention of her parents, Yuri predictably goes quiet. She's trying to respond, but it's clear that she's struggling.
Well...
I squeeze her hand gently.
Well, they were the ones who got me into cooking in the first place, so I imagine that they're happy with how much I've pursued it.
A sad look clouds Mom's features.
I see. I see.
What's wrong, Mom?
Whenever I hear about how other children's parents are still around, it makes me feel really guilty. I really wish I was home right now with you two. Exams, future plans, first relationships. Times aren't easy for you, son, and I'm not there when I should be.
Mom, it's fine. It really is. I never once blamed you for any of this. It's not been easy since the divorce, and you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Money doesn't grow on trees, and I know you're doing your best. Besides, I'm doing fine. Well, I pull Yuri closer to me, grinning at the look of surprise on her face. Better than fine, I'd say.
Look at you two. You look so cute together.
Yuri and I both smile sheepishly.
I know you're right, Flam, but that motherly instinct never goes away. A mother's love is one of the most powerful things on earth. It really is. Well, the good news is that we finally finished dealing with a particularly demanding client. There's a good chance I'll be able to return home soon.
Really?
Really, really.
That's great. Do you know when you'll be coming back?
Unfortunately, I don't have the exact dates right now. There's still some boring legal stuff that we've got to get through. Once that's over, you can bet I'll be on the first plane home. I'm half tempted to keep it a surprise and just randomly turn up one day. I would love to see Flam's reaction to that. Me too, Yuri. Me too. Anyway, I won't ramble on any longer. I'll leave you two lovebirds to it. Yuri, my dear, once again, lovely to see you, and we'll definitely get to know each other properly when I come to visit, okay? I like the sound of that. Okay, well, take care. Love you, Flam.
I love you too, Mom. See ya. With a click, the line goes down, and I set my phone back on the table. You handled that really well.
Did I? I thought I came across as really nervous and reserved.
It's normal to be nervous in that sort of situation.
Your mother is really nice. Somehow, she helped me with my nerves.
She's pretty friendly.
Yes, definitely. She's also got a certain warmth to her. It kind of reminds me of my own mother.
I pull Yuri into a hug. She clings to me.
Sorry, I didn't mean to drag the mood down or anything.
I softly plant a kiss on top of her head. It's okay. I get why it's an emotional moment for you.
Anyway, do you want to resume the movie?
A sly look comes over her face.
Unless you truly are a chicken at heart.
I respond by throwing a cushion at her face. Very funny. I can tell that Mom meeting Yuri in person is going to be the death of me. As I walk down the street towards school, I yawn and crack my neck. It's another normal, average day for me. Not. It's actually Valentine's Day. Man, just thinking about how the date night I've got planned is increasing my anxiety. It's not like I've never been on a date with Yuri before, but, well, we don't actually plan things out often. Our relationship is more of an organic one. Our dates are spontaneous. Finally having a formal date feels a bit surreal, to say the least. But at the same time, I'm also looking forward to it. Just gotta wait out the school day. Today's one of those few days when I wish that I didn't have to go to the literature club. Yuri's waiting for me in the hallway as usual. Hey Yuri, ready for tonight? She gives a light giggle, her eyes shining with affection.
Of course, Flam. This may be strange for me to say, but I can't wait for the club to be over.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Great minds think alike, eh?
I'm even feeling a bit jittery, all things considered.
Well, all that jitteriness is going to be worth it. Or at least, I hope so.
By the way, I made you some chocolates.
She pulls out a small pink box tied shut with a thin ribbon. Inside are heart-shaped chocolates drizzled with various syrups and toppings.
I hope they're to your liking.
Are you kidding me? They look amazing. Thanks, Yuri. This is officially the best Valentine's Day ever. If only because this is the first time I've gotten romantic chocolates rather than friend chocolates. Got friend-zoned a few too many times there. I can't believe that these are homemade. Yuri shyly ducks her head, mumbling a humble dismissal of my compliment.
It's normal to make homemade Valentine's chocolates for your loved ones. They're nothing special.
Don't sell yourself short, Yuri. I seriously can't wait to try one out. I sneak a quick kiss on Yuri's cheek while no one's looking. The breach of the school rules startles her for a moment, but her surprise is quickly replaced by playfulness.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, I wonder if we'll get any chocolates from the club members. Uh-oh. Natsuki is looking very viciously at us. I don't like it. As we step in the club room, we find Monica and Natsuki exchanging friend chocolates. Are Monica and Natsuki friend-zoning each other?
Well, yeah, Yuri, perfect timing. Let's just get this over with.
There's suddenly a packet of cookies hurling towards my face. Fucking Natsuki. Luckily, I'm fast enough to catch it.
Let's just get this over with. Yeah.
Oh, you're gentle with Yuri, but not with me. Bitch. Natsuki then hands Yuri her cookies, as Yuri looks through her bag to reciprocate the gesture. I'll reciprocate the gesture. Hey, why didn't you toss that at her too?
Are you kidding me? I'm not going to give the special treatment to someone who's not even going to give something back.
But isn't that what White Day is for?
That's a whole month away. Valentine's Day is just a commercialized sham that forces girls to buy chocolates and stuff for guys. I mean, you have to buy them for all our guy friends too, not just our crushes?
You made these cookies though, didn't you?
That's besides the point. Here's Flam.
Monica hands me a bar of chocolate wrapped in pink foil.
I do see Natsuki's points. I'm lucky that I don't have anyone in my life though, because I don't have to go through all the effort to make homemade chocolates.
Got it. Wedgie. Bit of a wedgie.
Although you are supposed to get chocolates back from guys on White Day. If I recall correctly, most chocolates exchanged on Valentine's Day are actually between women. Well, that makes sense. The majority of girls probably have mostly female friends. Plus, it can be nice to swap sweets with people you're close to. And on that note, thanks for the chocolates and cookies, guys.
For a moment, we all exchanged thanks for the sweets. By the way, where's Sayori?
I noticed that she wasn't here too. She texted me saying that she went home early because she was sick. Pretty unlucky day for her to get sick, huh? Yes, and it's a bit concerning how often she seems to get sick nowadays.
Yeah, I'll check up on her when I have the time.
Alright now that we've got all the Valentine stuff out of the way, let's get on with the club meeting. Okay, everyone, I'll be seeing y'all tomorrow then.
Phew, now that's over. It's time for my date with Yuri. Ready for the night of your life?
Are you sure that you're not building it up too much?
I'm wounded by your words, Yuri. Giggling, we make our way down the school's entrance hall and momentarily separate to find our respective shoe lockers. As I open my locker, something white tumbles out. It's an envelope. The corners of the envelopes are slightly crumpled, as if someone had been holding it too tightly. Inside it is a small note that simply reads, "I'm happy that you're happy," with a small piece of chocolate taped to the paper. The note's ink is blurred by... Oh, the note's ink is blurred a bit by a little water damage. What? Whose note is this? And why'd they give it to me? I'm just a normal guy, not someone who breaks hearts left and right. I can't think of any reason that I would have gotten this note. Oh well. I'll think about it later.
Ready to go?
Yuri appears next to me as I stuff the note in my bag. Whoa! You scared me. Yeah, I just need to swap my shoes and I'll be good to go.
By the way, you never told me what we were doing today.
Didn't I say that I wanted it to be a surprise?
Well, yes, but...
Wow, she looks surprisingly cute when she puts on a pouty face. Don't worry, you're gonna find out what it is soon enough. Let's head home so we can get changed out of our uniforms, though. One change of clothes later, we're both sitting on the train. It sways gently as it moves, and the rhythmic rattling it makes lulls me into a daze. Yuri leans against me, resting her head on my shoulder, as we watch the scenery blur by outside. Occasional whiffs of lavender and shampoo float my way. How can she always smell so good? The sunlight streaming in is soothing. It's nearly hot enough to be uncomfortable, but not quite.
Flam, are you falling asleep?
What? No. Yeah.
You better not miss our stop.
If I do, you'll have full rights to break up with me on the spot. An amusement park. Interesting. I lead Yuri by the hand as we approach the amusement park. The sound of music and children laughing fills the air.
Can I open my eyes now?
Yep, check it out. Yuri's face lights up as she takes in the scene. Roller coasters and other rides tower overhead while crowds of people mill around the park grounds. I
haven't been to a theme park in years. Last time I went to one, it was my parents who brought me there.
A wistful look crosses her face, and I squeeze her hand in comfort.
It's so heart-achingly nostalgic. I wonder how I'll stand up to my memories. Thank you for bringing me here, Flam.
Of course. I was actually kind of nervous that you wouldn't like it.
I suppose I'm not exactly the exciting type.
And I love you just the way you are. In fact, it makes things that much more exciting and fun when you surprise me.
I see. Thank you.
Anyway, let's stop standing around and enter the park. So, where do you want to go first?
What's there to do? I'm not familiar with this particular park, so...
How about one of the roller coasters?
Roller coaster?
I'm taking that you're not a fan of them.
Not particularly, no.
Okay, we can do something else then. I pull out a map of the park and look over it with her. Most of the attractions are rides, but there are two in particular that I think might interest Yuri. Which one should I suggest first? Ooh. She would love the Haunted Mansion. How about the Haunted Mansion? It seems pretty relevant to us.
Ooh, I've always wondered about haunted houses.
Have you never been to one before?
No, the only ones I've gone to were student-run haunted houses during school festivals, and those likely don't quite match up to the professional ones. Do you think this one will match up to the thrills we enjoy in our novels?
Only one way to find out, right? Hey, there's the Triforce. Zelda thing. Zelda reference. A few minutes later, we're standing in a quiet, sun-dappled corner of the park. There are surprisingly few visitors here, although the silence only adds to the atmosphere. The Haunted Mansion itself is modeled after a traditional Japanese home, like the ones you see in Kyoto. It looks quite normal on the outside. That might be why it's not one of the more popular attractions. However, the huge wings of the house sprawling across the grounds indicate that it'll be a lengthier experience.
Are you ready to enter?
Yep. Do you think it'll be scary?
I don't know, but I'm highly anticipating this.
Her eyes shine with excitement, and she grabs my arm tightly.
There's nothing like the rush you get when you're fearing the unknown.
I seem to remember Yuri talking about this on Halloween. Let's go in before you explode from the excitement, then. We brush the front entrance's curtains aside and walk into the house. As we enter the entrance hall, we are immediately met by an exceedingly anxious-looking man. Oh, you're finally here. Do we know you? Yes, you're here to deal with the ghosts, right? The fabled paranormal investigator and the legendary Shinto priestess. I guess we are now. Good, good. Please, hurry up and help cleanse my home from these spirits. I'm begging you.
Where do we go?
Here, right this way. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you to, but always move forward, or the spirits, well, I wouldn't wish those horrors on my worst enemy. And with these ominous words, he shuffles us through a doorway and slams the door shut. It takes a moment for my eyes to adjust to the darkness. It's actually quite dark in the haunted house itself. The hallway is in old wood and plaster, giving it a bit of an abandoned feel.
Flam, are you coming?
Yuri tugs at my arm, clearly eager to get going. I think I picked the right attraction for her. Alright. I just don't want to run headlong into danger, you know.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
We slowly walk down the hallway. The air is silent and still, with dust motes dancing freely around us. The only sounds are those of our footsteps and creaking wood. I almost feel the compulsion to hold my breath so that it doesn't break the silence. Yuri's warmth at my side is a welcome distraction from the house at this point. Her clutching my arm is more for my comfort than hers. Suddenly a dark shadow darts across the end of the hallway. Yuri's grip tightens on my arm. Did you see that?
Perhaps it's one of the spirits that man mentioned earlier.
Spirits, huh?
Don't forget your suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, nothing's really happened so far yet, though. Don't tell me I'm hearing things now.
I think you spoke too soon.
The unearthly moaning sound is exactly what I imagined hell would sound like, and it's coming from behind us. We slowly turn around to find the source of the sound. It's a girl with pale, nearly bluish skin, her neck twisted around in an impossible angle. The white dress she wears is in tatters, her body covered in dirt, blood, bruises, and lacerations. Stringy black hair nearly covers her face, but not quite. We can still see a chilling grin appear when she sees us turn around. As we stand frozen in place, the apparition takes a creeping step forward, her movements unnatural and disjointed. She takes another step, and another, and suddenly, she's running straight at us. Holy crap! We finally find snap out of it and begin running away with me pulling Yuri forward by her hand.
Not so fast, Flam!
Hold on, let's duck in a room somewhere and hide. Whipping around a corner, I grasp at the first door handle I see and fling it open. I pull Yuri towards my chest and we tumble into the room together. Damn, this is an intense haunted house. She quickly slides the door closed and as quietly as possible while I sit on the floor and catch my breath. Phew, that was exciting.
I can't believe how scared you were, Flam.
Oh, like you weren't scared? We laugh a bit as the adrenaline rushing through our veins begins to subside.
I'm so out of breath. I suppose there are downsides to staying indoors and reading all the time.
Same for me, but with video games and anime instead of reading? Huh? I saw that move too. Did you hear that? How many times am I going to have to say that today?
It sounded like it came from the closet.
We both look over at the closet door. While it was closed shut before, the door's now a few inches open, offering us a peek at the darkness inside.
Gah!
A hand suddenly appears from the crack, the faint light highlighting a hint of the nose and cheek.
Do you want to play hide and seek?
Yuri, I think we should get out of here.
Yes, let's...
I don't know how much time has passed, but we're finally out. It's blindingly bright outside after the shadows of the haunted house. The fresh air is especially refreshing, given all the running we did inside. So, what did you think of that?
I can see why some people get addicted to the thrill of haunted houses.
Having been through some myself, yes, they are exciting.
Honestly, it was better than I expected. I thought there would be more cheap jump scares, but it actually played on our suspense quite well.
Yeah. You know, it's good when it makes you scared even though you're aware that everyone's an actor.
I especially liked how the girl in the closet from the beginning reappeared near the end, too. Attention to details, such a continuity can often elevate things from merely good to amazing.
I think my favorite part was when we had to walk through a pitch black room together.
Like I said, the fear of the unknown is a powerful drug.
Anyway, we still got some time left in the day, so where do you want to go next?
Let's have a look at the map again. What do you think about
this fantasy village thing?
Is this the one that's based off the magical village in that one book series? I wonder how immersive it'll be.
I'm guessing pretty immersive, since the park is known for it. Come on, let's get there before the lines are too long. Within a few minutes, we find ourselves at the entrance to the village. The place is packed full of people, likely because of the popularity of the book series.
Wow, it looks exactly as I pictured it.
Only downside is the crowds, eh?
I suppose we'll have to make sure we're not separated.
Yuri tentatively grasps my hand, and I squeeze hers in mine. I definitely don't mind how the crowd is making us press against each other. I'll bet this attraction is a huge moneymaker for the park. I mean, look at all the shops. It seems like nearly all the buildings house shops of some kind, ranging from cafes and restaurants to gift shops and bookstores. Phew, everything here is pretty expensive.
I'd expect nothing less from a theme park.
We walk around a bit, window shopping and chatting. The architects really didn't spare any expense in making sure the village was as detailed and realistic as possible. Do you have anything in particular that you want to check out? Like stuff from the books that you want to see in real life now?
That's a good question. Maybe. Well, this may sound a bit silly, but I've always loved how the food was described in the novels. It's always sounded so succulent and delicious.
It's not surprised that well-written descriptions of food would have caught your attention. Do you think it might have partly caused you to learn how to cook too, along with your parents' influence? I mean.
Maybe. It probably helped to turn me into a bit of a foodie, at least. I used to even read the books near dinner time to increase my appetite.
Jeez, I'll have to reread the series then if the writing's that good. Well, if you want to try some food, let's look around for some. A nearby cart piled high with plastic mugs catches my eye. Hey, how about we try some of that?
Oh, is that the famous butterscotch drink?
Let's try it and see. Nearly 1,000 yen later, we're both clutching mugs towering with golden liquid and foam. Yuri tentatively takes a sip. How is it?
It's quite rich and creamy. It reminds me of root beer, but with butterscotch instead of sassafras. I think I quite like it. I wonder how they make it.
I'm sure you can look it up on the internet. By the way, you have a foam mustache now.
Ah!
She quickly licks her upper lip in consternation. That was super cute. You kind of reminded me of a cat there.
That was cute?
Well, anything you do is cute, though.
Thank you.
I guess Yuri still doesn't know how to take compliments gracefully. That kind of gives her an endearing charm, though, at least in my opinion.
You're so nice to me, Flam.
How could I not be? I mean, you're you. Yuri smiles bashfully at that, and I pull her toward me to put my arm around her waist. Now, how about we find some huge turkey legs to eat? I heard that this place is famous for that. Oh man, I'm stuffed.
I can't believe we spent this whole time eating.
Oh, I can't believe we spent this whole time eating.
Suffice to say, I don't think I'll need to eat dinner tonight.
I don't think I'll need to eat for a week at this point. Phew. I'm kind of tired.
Would you like to go back home then?
Hold on. I actually wanted to go on a ride with you.
What kind of a ride?
Don't worry, it's not a roller coaster. I was actually trying to save the best for last. Come on, just follow me. It's Tunnel of Love time, guys.
Okay, Flam. I trust you.
There it is. I point up at the wheel towering above us. Its colorful passenger cars sway gently in the air as they travel around the wheel.
The Ferris wheel?
I figured that we kind of had to take a ride on it because of all the Valentine's Day legends associated with Ferris wheels. You know, stuff like taking a ride on Valentine's Day means you'll stay together for the year.
Well, if it's such a tradition, we should probably honor it.
One cue later, we hop onto one of the gondolas and feel a slight jerk after a moment as the wheel begins turning. Have you ever been on a Ferris wheel before?
No, I don't actually think so. It's quite tall, isn't it?
Yeah, but if it wasn't, we wouldn't get any view. Yuri peeks over the edge of the window to look at the ground slowly shrinking below us.
We aren't very high right now, at least.
Just give it a minute, and we will be. I see a few children waving at the wheel as we're lifted higher and higher into the air. It's kind of a strange feeling seeing everything become as small as their map counterparts. Everything is bathed in a golden glow from the setting sun, as if the whole world were dipped in honey. The silhouettes of other rides loop around in the sky, but none are as tall as the Ferris wheel. With the noise of the park faded away, it's quiet in the gondola. Hey, I think we're at the top now. Yuri looks straight at me with a bit of a strange smile on her face. Aren't you going to look outside?
Yeah.
She sinks a quick glance outside for a second, then snaps back to staring at me again. Her knuckles are white from gripping the edge of her seat. Yuri, are you afraid of heights?
Yes.
You should have told me. We didn't have to do this.
It's alright. If you're happy, then I am too.
My mind suddenly flashes back to the note I found earlier today. But I like to see you happy too. If you're genuinely not having a good time on the ride, then what's the point?
You're so kind, Flam.
It's just common courtesy.
You're kind and funny and smart. You're good at talking to people, even if you say otherwise. Why are you here with me?
Huh? What do you mean? I'm here with you because I want to be here.
But you're so good.
Did Yuri's words just fail her? This might be the first time I've ever seen it happen since I've known her. Sure, she stammers and takes long pauses to think sometimes, but she's always been able to find the right phrases to accurately convey her thoughts. She has a rueful expression on her face. Clearly she knows that she's grasping for words.
And how can I be good too if I'm nothing like you?
Yuri. I lean over to grab Yuri's hand in mine. You don't have to be like you don't have to be like me to be good. There are a lot of things I don't necessarily like about myself. And there are a ton of things that I do like about you. I don't think anyone else has been able to change my life as much as you did. Well, except for my parents, of course. But you're the one who got me into literature, who's inspired me to go to university after we graduate. You're the one who I can see myself with 10 years into the future. Even the little things endear yourself to me so much. The way your eyes sparkle when you're passionate about something, how cute you can be when you pout, how insightful you are when talking about normal things, how beautiful you are when you float off into your own world while you think. I softly brush a strand of her hair away from her face. How your hair falls in your face. We're so close together that I can feel the warmth from her breath on my skin now.
Flam?
And suddenly, our lips meet. Her lips are soft and warm, and I can almost swear that I taste the faintest hint of butterscotch. After what seems an eternity, we finally break apart. I love you, Yuri.
And I love you, Flam. This has truly been one of the best days of my life, so thank you.
No. Thank you for coming along with me.
Of course I came along. I'm your girlfriend.
You want to try looking down at the view now? Come on, I'll hold you. You're safe with me.
Okay. Don't let go of me.
I wrap my arms around Yuri's waist from behind as we take in the sights in front of us. She's slightly shorter than I am, and I'm just about able to rest my chin on her head. I hear her laugh as she wraps her hands around mine. We stay like this for a while, slowly allowing the gentle bob of the gondola to take us back down to ground level. It wasn't so bad when you looked over the edge, was it?
No, I suppose it wasn't. It was a beautiful view, very picturesque. Thanks for helping me get over my fear, at least for that moment.
Of course. Anyway, just go for it, Flam. It's kind of late, so do you want to stay the night?
Oh, I'd be happy to.
It seems like we're both suddenly overcome with shyness as we start heading into my house. I curse myself as I fumble with the doorknob, but we eventually find ourselves inside. Flipping on the light switch, I somewhat nervously turn toward Yuri. Do you want anything to drink?
Just water would be fine, thanks.
I quickly busy myself in the kitchen, rummaging through cupboards as loudly as possible to break the tension. She's got to realize what I'm thinking about, right? Gonna save it right here. I get the feeling something might happen. The silence soon returns as I pass the mug of water to Yuri, though. Are you hungry? I could bring in a few snacks, too.
Didn't you already eat enough at the amusement park?
Ah, true. Just tell me if you need anything, then.
Alright, thank you.
There's a small moment of awkward silence.
Flam?
What is it?
Could I use your shower?
Oh yeah, of course. You're probably all tired and sweaty from today. Not to say that you're always super sweaty, though. I just meant that you walked around a lot today and stuff. Damn it, Flam.
It's fine.
So... Here, I'll show you to my mom's bathroom. That way you can use the other bathroom that way I can use the other bathroom at the same time.
Okay, thank you. Do you have an extra towel, too?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. I lead Yuri to the master bedroom's en suite bathroom, then quickly rush over to the other bathroom to take a shower myself. I'd almost forgotten, but this is the place where I saw Yuri harming herself. I can nearly see the bloodied razor blade lying on the floor again. Ugh, snap out of it, Flam. This is probably the worst time to dwell on those things. Still, I can't help but be reminded of it. I just need to shower and get out as soon as possible. A few minutes later, I'm sitting on my bed and shaking my leg from nerves. Why do girls take such long showers? Well, I guess Yuri has her hair to wash. What seems like a lifetime later, I finally see her enter the room. Hey, fancy meeting you here. She sits down beside me on the edge of my bed.
Flam? I know I keep saying this, and sorry if it's annoying to constantly hear it, but thanks for today. You really are the perfect boyfriend to me.
How can I be annoyed at that? Especially since you called me the perfect boyfriend.
You really are too good for me. You're so thoughtful. I never think to do anything for you or buy any spontaneous gifts for you. I'm so selfish. Look, here I am, making everything about myself again.
Is this going to be a recap of our Ferris wheel conversation? Yuri, you don't give yourself enough credit. You're not being selfish. You always think about other people rather than yourself. And if you want an example of your own thoughtfulness, remember when you bought me that copy of Portrait of Markov?
Ah, I nearly forgot about that. That was so long ago.
Seems like only yesterday to me. I mean, how could I forget about the time a beautiful girl gave me a gift? If you can call me the perfect boyfriend, then I get to call you the perfect girlfriend too.
Flam?
I lean in close. Her lashes are long and flutter with each breath she takes. While her eyes, I can almost get swallowed up by those clear pools of violet. Little flecks of darker purple amidst the reflected light on her eyes gives her irises a jewel-like quality. Impulsively, I press my lips against hers. The emotions from back on the Ferris wheel are swirling inside me again. The kiss is brief, but leaves me wanting more. Suddenly, Yuri clears her throat.
Flam, could you close the curtains?
Oh boy, is this really happening? I get up and pull the curtains closed with a swish.
Could you turn out the light as well?
Okay, whatever makes you comfortable. To be honest, I'm kind of glad that she wants the light to be off. I'm not too self-conscious when it comes to my body, but I still feel a bit embarrassed at being naked in front of Yuri. As I flip the light off, I hear a rustling from Yuri that's followed by a small thump on the floor. I can't see much when I turn around, given that my eyes haven't adjusted yet. Even so, I can tell that Yuri's top is now laying crumpled on the floor. Yuri? Are you sure? Her voice cracks a little as she answers me.
Yes. Sorry. I wish I could let you see me. But not right now. Not yet.
It's okay. We can take it slow. Can I touch you? I have no idea what I'm doing, but I guess it's safest to ask questions just in case. Plus, knowing how shy Yuri is, I don't want to rush her before she's ready.
Okay.
I step closer to her, so close that I can smell the lavender fragrance in her hair and the faint scent of sweat from her body. That's so that I can ease some of her anxiety. My fingers gently brush against her sides, however she flinches at my touch. So sorry, did I surprise you?
No. Sorry, it's just your hands. They're cold.
Ah, shoot, sorry about that. I quickly rub my hands together and attempt to warm them up.
No need to apologize.
Phew, looks like this moment of embarrassment helped break the ice a bit. I reach out to hold Yuri's waist again. I can feel goosebumps all across her skin now, but she doesn't flinch this time. Slowly, gently, I move my fingers along her body, exploring the softly firm curves before me. Yuri bites her lip, closing her eyes. Would it be too much to hope that she's closing her eyes in pleasure? After a few moments, I find my hands at her shoulders and pull her in for another kiss, this time more intense and passionate. Without thinking, I run my hands down her arms and I'm suddenly startled by the raised bumps snacking across her skin.
No.
She quickly jumps away, tearing her arms out of my grasp. Some of the scar tissue was softer, but other wounds were clearly still scabbed over. Sorry. I'm sorry. I wasn't even thinking about that. I didn't mean to touch your scars like that at all. For a moment, Yuri stands across from me with her face in her hands, breathing hard. Then she finally looks up to make eye contact with me.
It's okay. It was an accident, so...
We can stop for tonight if you want.
No, I'm fine. Sorry, I was just startled. I want to keep going.
She steps forward and puts her hands on mine, sliding them down from my chest to my stomach. All of her movements are as graceful as ever. She's showing more slowly now, more methodically. Oh, she's moving more slowly now, more methodically. Having reached the edge of my shirt, she suddenly moves her hands up and under the cloth so that she's touching my bare skin. Taking this cue, I pull off my shirt. We both pause for a moment, uncertain of what to do. Her face is completely red, and she's looking down at the ground. I guess she's still embarrassed, but to be fair, I am too. She tugs down on my pants a bit, probably to move things along. I respond by unbuttoning my pants and pulling them down. By the time I look back up, Yuri's taking off her leggings too. Do you want to lie down?
Alright.
I stand aside, waiting for Yuri to get on the bed first. Her movements are almost laughably robotic, a stark contrast from her previously smooth motions. Hey, are you okay?
Yes. I'm just nervous.
Well, just so you know, I am too. My reassurance seems to give Yuri the final boost of courage she needs as she briskly clambers into bed and lies down before me. Her eyes flick up to meet mine before darting away to stare staunchly at the wall. Never in a million years did I think I'd be in this situation. My eyes hungrily wander over every inch of her body with each passing second, causing my desire to grow and grow. Okay, I did turn off the nudity, but still, this is kind of suggestive here. I might get age restricted. My eyes hungrily wander over every inch of her body, with each passing second causing my desire to grow and grow. Elegant curves, smooth skin, the way her hair is splayed out underneath her. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room, her chest. Her breasts rise and fall almost hypnotically, involuntarily arresting my attention. Even the darkness can't hide how supple and full they look, and it's a mark of stupefied I am that I haven't reached out to touch them by now. I can feel blood rushing to a now very prominent member of my body as my heart rate accelerates further still. Yuri glances back up at me, presumably waiting for me to do something. When she meets my eyes again, her hands seem to instinctively move over her body to cover herself up. Sorry. My words startle Yuri, who slowly uncovers herself again.
No, I'm sorry.
Eh? What for?
The lights, and I don't know.
She turns her head away so that it's hard to see her expression. It's okay. You look just... Okay, Flam, get it together. You've been gawking like an idiot for long enough. I race to slip my boxers off, trying to ignore how self-conscious I feel as the most honest part of my body springs up, eager to be free from its cage. As I get on the bed, Yuri peeks back to look at me, her eyes flickering down into the southern region of my body. I'm just hoping my body isn't a disappointment, given how incredibly alluring hers is. Now that I'm practically on top of her, I hesitate slightly. Aren't you meant to, like, start with your fingers or your tongue? I wanted to make her feel good, but I wouldn't know what to do with my tongue, so I opt to carefully slide my hand down past her stomach. Yuri's body trembles slightly under my touch, and as my hand moves further and further south, her breathing grows more and more irregular. Is that anticipation or just nerves? Her face is turned away again, so I can't really tell. Finally, with my fingers mere millimeters away from her, I slowly begin to stroke the warmth beneath me. There's a sharp intake of breath as Yuri twitches at the first touch. Are you good? Does it feel alright? She nods, although I can feel her body stiffen in anxiety. I wait for another answer, but she doesn't make any other moves. Well, tell me if you feel uncomfortable. I begin rhythmically massaging her again, attempting to adjust the movement of my fingers in accordance with her body cues. Although it takes what feels like a few minutes, her body eventually begins to relax more and more. We both worked up some sweat by now, although how much of it is just from nervousness, I can't tell. What I can tell, though, is that pleasuring her is somehow making me feel good myself. Yuri occasionally makes strange noises, and although part of me wishes that she'd just allow herself to make sounds, another part thinks that it's cute that she's shy. As if reading my mind, Yuri finally opens her mouth to say something.
Hi.
Yuri gasps a bit as she tries to speak.
I'm ready.
Pulling away from her for a moment, I lean over to grab a small foil packet from my nightstand. Despite my hand shaking, I manage to fit the rubber over myself. My face flushes when I realize that Yuri's been watching me put it on. With the realization that I've noticed her eyes on me, Yuri swiftly looks away again.
Don't worry. Like you said, we're both nervous.
Yeah. Yuri spreads her legs apart and covers her eyes with an arm as I try to position myself comfortably. It's now or never, Flam. As all my feeling and passion come to a head within me, I push forward into Yuri with one quick motion. The cry of pain makes me stop for a moment. Are you okay? I knew that it might hurt for her, but I didn't expect it to be that bad.
Yeah, just go more slowly.
She peeks out at me from behind her fingers and smiles through a wince. I resume my movements, but try to go more gently this time. It's hard to do though, as a sensation, it just feels so good. It's warm, and wet. It fits snugly over me as if we were made for each other. Yuri begins to match my movements with her own, and our synchronization sends a satisfying tingle surging over my entire body. A moan involuntarily slips out from her lips, and she bites down on her hard on her lower lip to stop herself from making any more noise. I can't help but make some grunts myself as I work my hips against her. Out of instinct, I reach out and tenderly grab one of her breasts. The feeling of the warm, soft flesh adds another layer of pure pleasure shooting through my brain. I'm losing myself to the sheer satisfaction of the moment. Who could have guessed that sex would feel this good? A primal hunger flares to life as I caress and squeeze her breast, feeling the nub of her nipple beneath my fingers. As my feelings intensify, I grab her legs and move faster. The change in pace causes Yuri to falter somewhat, losing track of the rhythm of our movements. However, she's able to match my thrusts again soon enough. The sounds of our grunts and pants grow more and more frequent, and I can feel a build-up quickly growing in intensity. The cessation of Yuri, my love for her, everything begins to pulse in my mind until... Yuri! Waves of pleasure wash over me, building up into a climax. These sensations, it feels as though we're melting into each other, becoming one intense being made out of passion. The euphoria only lasts a few seconds, and as quickly as it arrived, it's over. Long strands of hair stick to Yuri's face, and I try to brush some aside once I regain control of my body. Yuri's breathing comes out in quiet little puffs as she recovers as well.
Well, come lie down beside me.
Dutifully, I crawl up to her side so that we're lying down face to face. I can't help but steal another kiss from her.
Flam, give me a chance to breathe.
Sorry. I resort to holding her hand instead, and slowly but surely, our breathing returns to normal. We smile at each other, whereas the silences before were awkward. This one's a comfortable one, like the comfortable silences we've had in the past. Now, like always, we don't need to talk to each other to understand each other. I'm dreading the moment when we'll have to get up and get out of each other's arms. But for now, it's just the two of us in a warm cocoon, far away from the rest of the world. Damn. That was intense. Well, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like. This video is probably gonna get age restricted, so if you can watch it, I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.